What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out the video. In this build, we made a very simple live edge table. For the epoxy, I used totalboat high performance epoxy with a medium hardener and rubio monocoat for the finish. I sanded up to 150 grit and then water popped it with my little spray bottle, and then lightly sanded again with 150 just to get it ready. If you have any questions about anything I did in this video, leave a comment down below. And if you want a discount on some kick-ass beard stuff, that's kind of like what I use to help keep my face good and moist with all the sawdust around, check out the link below as well in the description and use code CCW15 at checkout to get a 15% discount. Thanks. Everybody enjoy the video. So the customer that picked the slab out, she went with me to the sawmill to pick it out, and I didn't think it was really that big. But boy, when we got on the workbench, this thing is massive. So what we're going to do first, so I've got my track set up for my router sled. I've made both sets of tracks and my router sled out of one sheet of plywood, so about 35 bucks. And to get started, I did this off camera, was I checked this side to this side for level. And everything's level all the way down the workbench. So next up, I'm gonna take my router sled itself, put it on here, and see what the low spots is so I know how far to set it down. It's hot. It's really, really hot. Anyways, so as I was checking the heights of my slab with my tracks, I realized that this part of my slab is actually taller than my track. So I'm going to take some scrap melamine and I'm going to clamp it to my track. And I may end up having to adjust the melamine down my track as I go, depending on my high spots. But I'll move my melamine with my router sled to hit the high spots. And once I get all the high spots taken away, I'll come back, take it off, and then route out what I can. Okay, so one side is done, thank goodness. And if you're getting ready to do this, just be aware that you are going to make a mess. I mean, just an absolute mess. As you can see, I'm absolutely covered up. My shop looks like a dust storm just came through, and there is stuff everywhere. Also, to go along with that, my hands are tingling just from the vibration of the router. Anyways, so we've got that one side done. We're gonna flip it over, plane the other side. Once we get that done, we're gonna let it sit overnight to make sure it doesn't twist or warp or anything, since we relieved all that stress from planing it down. And we'll see it in the morning. Okay, now that I got the bottom plane, I know it's flat, and that's my new reference. It's time to do the top. And what I'll do is I'll take my combination square and I'll set it on top of my track like this. And I'll touch different points of the tabletop and I'll measure. The farthest point away from the top of my sled is going to be my lowest point of my table, so that's where I'll set my router to plane to. Okay, I let this big slab sit overnight after I got it planed down yesterday. And I did that because sometimes on slabs like this, when you release the stress from planing it, it will warp and twist on you. So I let it sit, everything looks good. I'll rough cut it to length, and then we'll take it outside and get the bark knocked off. Alright, it's time to fill out Chewbacca again. Anyways, got the slab laid up on its workbench, and if you see that it is a wheelbarrow, you are correct. Wheelbarrow is perfect for economics. It's perfect sitting height, and it's strong enough to hold this slab instead of my cheap little sawhorses. So anyways, let's get to work.
2,000 years later.
Okay, now that we got the bark knocked off, I'm going to find the width of what my legs will be. So I'm gonna work on the legs separate of the tabletop now. So what I'm going to do that is I'm gonna measure the middle of each end and then pop a center line with a chalk line. Once I do that, I'll offset to each side to see where I'll have room to set my legs. Okay, I did this off camera, but I marked 12 inches off the center line, so here and here, and I made me a new line. And what that shows is if you follow this rail line all the way down, I'll have zero issues with setting this leg anywhere down this table. The reason why I did that is because depending on how the customer wants their people to sit around the table, I may have to set the legs further in or further out towards the edge of the table. So with this, I know that I can set these legs anywhere along the table. It won't lay over the live edge part of the table or interfere with anything along the way.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.